From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
Last night, the Bozeman Library Board voted to pass a motion to not allow developers to build on their land. We had a reporter in the room, and we're going to break down all that was discussed.
I'm Joe St. George on Capitol Hill. Congress is on track to avoid a government shutdown, but the funding deal does not include any new spending for Israel and Ukraine. How consequential is that, and when will this be a problem for those nations? That's next.
A healthy baby girl was welcomed to the world right here at this gas station in Manhattan. I'm Jolie Slane. I'll introduce you to this mother who says even though her daughter's birth didn't go as planned, she wouldn't change a thing.
And I have to tell you, you won't want to miss that
No,
story.
what a story. This is out of a movie.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
I can already see the screenwriters clamoring.
Right in our backyard.
To get the rights for that. Well, good morning, everyone. It's Thursday here in Southwest Montana. It's a beautiful day outside. Just a couple drips and drops on the way to work.
And it's not much. I look out the window to the patio and it appears dry. There may be a few drips or drops here or there, but most of us are not even going to have to turn on the windshield wiper.
Oh,
so
perfect.
There's that. Temperatures right now, 30s and 40s. It is a little warmer right at this moment than it was yesterday. But with that, we do have some cooler air to the north. In fact, that moisture's falling apart pretty quickly. I expect the afternoon to bring us some sunshine. It should make the afternoon a little more pleasant. Lights are on at the stadium.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody's getting a couple of reps in.
I thought you were going to go do lines.
No.
Oh.
I can do lines, but I walk.
Oh, got it.
Temperatures into the 40s through the afternoon, mostly sunny skies by the mid part of the day. I'll talk more about what you can expect heading toward the weekend and beyond. That's coming up in just a few minutes.
All right. Thank you very much, Matt. Well, our top story this half hour: last night, the Bozeman Library Board voted to pass a motion to not allow developers to build on their land. A large crowd of community members showed up to the meeting to share their thoughts and concerns about the potential development. A New York firm was planning to buy the land to the west of the library on Wallace Street off of Main to build a hotel, condos, and multifamily homes. The firm asked the library to sign a memorandum of understanding to lease library parking lot spaces to build a parking garage for the new development, while allowing the library to use that garage. After a presentation from developers and public comment, the board ultimately decided not to allow the construction of this parking garage on their property. And on the national scene, the Senate is expected to vote Thursday on a plan to avert a government shutdown, at least until after the new year. The plan, which passed out of the House earlier this week, funds some government agencies until mid-January, while others are funded until February 2nd. Now, the White House has seemed to indicate President Biden would sign this. The bill, however, does not include aid to Israel or Ukraine. So does that matter? Well, our Joe St. George with a closer look on how the lack of military support may start impacting the conflict soon.
Congress late Wednesday avoided a government shutdown, which was set to happen at the end of this week.
But the funding deal does not include any extra spending for Israel or Ukraine. So with the Thanksgiving holiday looming, a natural question is, how long can these countries fight their conflicts without additional U.S. aid?
The answer depends on who you ask, with Ukraine and Israel in very different positions.
There is an urgency, a real urgency in Ukraine right now.
Democratic senators on the Appropriations Committee, as well as the Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin, seemed to indicate earlier this month that Ukraine may soon be in a dire state, with a harsh winter on the horizon.
We are really getting to a point very soon where there are not bullets in the guns. The need is dire, isn't it?
It absolutely is, Senator.
Of course, not everyone on Capitol Hill agrees with the urgency. To date, Congress has approved more than $75 billion for Ukraine's war with Russia, and some believe there needs to be more accountability. Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson hasn't ruled out more aid to Ukraine, but he wants it paired with something else.
We want to pair border security with Ukraine because I think we could get bipartisan agreement. We're going to take care of
a border in Ukraine, we need to take care of America's border as well.
As far as Israel, it's hard for members of Congress to walk through the halls without being reminded of the conflict. Pictures of some of the reported hostages line some of the hallways.
The yeas are 51, the nays are 48.
This week, though, the Senate blocked a House Republican plan to send $14 billion to Israel. Democrats didn't like the fact it paid for it with cuts to the IRS. But Israel, for the moment, appears to be in a different position than Ukraine. For one, Israel's conflict with Hamas is much more recent. Ukraine's war has gone on for close to 2 years. Not to mention, by law, every year the U.S. gives over $3 billion to assist Israel's defense. That being said, the White House still believes Israel needs U.S. aid urgently. However, they also want that aid paired with assistance for Ukraine. In fact, White House officials have said that's the only way President Biden will sign it into law.
The president would veto an only Israel bill.
Joe St. George, Scripps News, Washington.
On that, as we learn more, thank you very much, Joe. Now back here in some Treasure State headlines. Gallatin County has a new resident. Born on October 26th, a baby girl made a grand, albeit not traditional, entrance into the world. MTN's Jolie Salee spoke with the baby's mother, who says even though her daughter's birth didn't go as planned, she wouldn't change a thing.
In October, this gas station here in Manhattan got a special delivery. 6 pounds and 11 ounces to be exact.
Felt my water break and they're like, we have time, we have time. I'm like, no, we don't have time, she's coming.
The morning of October 26th, Ariana Upmeyer from Three Forks woke up to contractions. So she called her family and they rushed to the hospital. Everything was smooth sailing until they made it to Manhattan.
And they started getting more intense.
So they called 911
and told them to meet us at the Conoco in Manhattan. We got there, got to the four-way stop, did not stop, just kept turning, and at the same time we were turning,
the ambulance was right behind them.
I was scared but excited at the same time. It was more of like, I just want my kid here and to know that she's going to be here and healthy.
An unafraid Ariana hopped in the ambulance,
took a couple more contractions, and in 2 pushes she was here.
And her name is Zoe, a healthy baby girl who is kind of small town famous.
Have you been back to that place since? I actually have. They call her the gas station baby and they absolutely love her.
And Ariana is just as in love with her little bundle of joy, who decided to make a grand entrance at the gas station.
It didn't go as planned, but I wouldn't change it for anything because now she's here.
The only thing she wishes about the whole experience,
I wish her dad was here. So he got in I might get emotional on this one, really bad motorcycle accident 3 months ago. He's now down in Utah doing good, but I just wish he could have been here to see her. But honestly, she's probably like the best miracle in the last 3 months I've had since all of it, so I gotta stay strong for her, and hopefully here soon we'll be able to go see him and he can actually finally meet his daughter.
If you would like to send Ariana something to help with her baby Zoe, you can visit our website to learn how. In Manhattan, Jolie Salee, MTN News.
A miracle to be sure. Thank you so much, Jolie, for sharing that story with us this morning. Now, before we head to break, the Montana Farm Bureau Federation says the cost of a Thanksgiving dinner is down slightly from last year's record high. Now, each year, the American Farm Bureau Federation surveys the cost of a holiday feast. And this year, they estimate the total cost to feed a family of 10, which includes everything from the turkey and stuffing to the pumpkin pie, to be $61.17. Now, that's down about $2.90, or about 4.5% from 2022. The turkey is the most expensive part of the meal, with a 16-pound bird going for just over $27. Now, we're going to take that break, but when we come back, on the heels of ski season, Red Lodge Mountain is facing a lawsuit accusing the ski resort of negligence. MTN digs into the details and brings them to you